So, how many engineers do we have in the house today? One, two, three, four, five. Mostly everyone. Have you guys seen Black Mirror? Anyone? Have you watched it? So, today's presentation, what we are going to do is it's going to be episodes. We have 9 episodes, and each episode would be linking to another, not like Black Mirror, like you can just watch any other episodes. For those of you who haven't watched Black Mirror, you do carry one of the Black Mirror with yourself, and that's your phone. So let's get started with the presentation. Good afternoon, SREs. Good afternoon, DevOps leaders. Good afternoon, builders. My name is Ashish Upadhyay. I work as a cloud solution engineer for Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government within the UK government. I've been building solutions on AWS infrastructure. I've been building hybrid solution, optimizing AWS infrastructure for various organizations like Softel Communication, Morningstar Incorporated, and it has been about one thing, and that's solving the most complex problems with people, processes, and technology. And today, to talk about one of the biggest challenges we are facing, and that's PaaS isn't enough. This is a bit about me. I've worked as a DevOps architect at Softel Communications. Before that, I was working as DevOps engineer at Morningstar Incorporated. My specialization, usually it's cloud development, automation, and infrastructure management. Few of my key achievements. Let's get started with episode number 1. I want you to close your eyes for a second and think back to a simpler time. A decade ago, we were all chasing the promise of a platform. The promise that we could just click a button, push our code, and the cloud would handle everything. Remember that feeling, that relief, the dream of a world where we didn't have to worry about anything. No more infrastructure worries, where PaaS would just work. It was like being handed a key to a brand new car, a sleek, shiny electric car, and being told, drive anywhere you want. It was beautiful, simple, and perfect. But reality hits there when we saw our first roadblock and another. It was like built it was only built for one type of highway. You couldn't take it on a country road. You couldn't take it off road. And what happens when you need to drive across multiple states, each with their unique terrain? That beautiful, simple car suddenly became a cage, a very comfortable and a very expensive cage. The problem was we bought into a promise of PaaS for simplicity, but we paid it with our freedom. The truth is, many of us, that one size fit all model broke. It broke the moment we realized we couldn't just have all eggs in one basket. It broke at the moment when our CTO said, we need a multi cloud strategy for resilience, for leverage, for innovation. And you felt it. You felt the pain. You had an engineer who could build an amazing services on AWS Lambda, only to get stuck because the exact same features wasn't available on Azure. You had a security team begging for a consistent way to manage your secrets and identity across 3 different providers, each with their own unique API. You had the board asking, why is it so difficult to move your workload from cloud A to cloud B? The traditional PaaS didn't solve this problem. It actually created it. It created the PaaS paradox. Convenience at the cost of control, speed at the cost of flexibility, and vendor lock in as the hidden tax on simplicity. We stopped looking for the car that could drive on all highways. What we did is we started building our own highway. Our vision was to replace the cloud providers. It was that we wanted an internal developer platform, an IDP, a platform designed to give developers the very best of all the platforms we had. It was it's like the world's most sophisticated air traffic control system, managing flights, resources, and security across a decentralized fleet of airports. This wasn't about building our own Heroku. It was about building a set of reusable, interconnected Lego blocks, a unified control plane that sat all above the clouds, empowering our engineers to build, deploy, and scale. The big idea, the one that changed everything for us. The platform job is not to abstract the cloud away, its job is to amplify it. Let's deep dive into how we did it. So, for too long, we were told that you could have any of those two. You couldn't have, either you would have flexibility and speed, or either you would have flexibility and control, but you can't have all the three together. Our IDP to challenge that idea. So, what we did, we wanted our developers to be our pilots. We needed to give our developer the freedom they actually craved. They are our pilots. They know their terrain, they know their mission. We couldn't dictate their flight path. We didn't build a single deployment tool. What we did is we built a composable control plane. Instead of a monolithic CI/CD pipeline, we created a modular standardized building blocks, a single API for provisioning infrastructure, a unified way to manage secrets, and consistent way to configure ingress. What it did is this allowed us to use a mix of Terraform for our core infra on GCP, while other team was using Pulumi for their serverless function on AWS. The key was common contract, a shared API, a unified set of guardrails enforced by our platform. The analogy was very simple. Our platform didn't force developers to use our car. It gave them a universal fuel card and a single dashboard that worked on every car. Control with great flexibility comes great responsibility. Our security and compliance teams had a same nightmare. Thousands of developers, a dozen different cloud accounts, and zero visibility. Our IDP solved this with an invisible yet ironclad layer of governance. We focused on building a centralized policy as a core engine. This wasn't about saying no, it was about ensuring that every resource in our cloud was acknowledged, checked against the security and compliance policies which we have created. An engineer provisioning a public S3 bucket, the platform automatically applies a policy to block any public access. A team, if they create an API gateway, the platform ensures it has a WAF enabled by default. This isn't about micromanaging, it was about building the trust through automation. We gave our developers the freedom to move fast because our platform was watching their back, ensuring every step was safe and compliant. Speed. This is the ultimate payoff. The reason we are all here is because our goal was to take the friction out of the entire development cycle. We built what we called is a golden path, a curated, opinionated path to productionize that's simple, fast, and secure by default. So imagine this, an engineer wants to deploy a new service. They don't have to fill out a Jira ticket for network access. They don't have to wait for a security review. They just use one single command, that's platform create service, and the command would automatically launch the infrastructure in minutes. They have a fully configured, secure, production ready environments across multiple clouds. This wasn't about taking away the choices, it was about making the right choices so simple, so fast, so obvious that they became the only choices anyone wanted to make. It turns a multi week slow into a multi minute sprint. We started with the promise of PaaS, a simple idea of an all in line one solution. But the future of cloud isn't about simplicity, it was about sophistication. It's about a single intelligent control panel which gives you an access to everything you want to build. So, here's my challenge to you: stop thinking about PaaS as a product you buy. Start thinking about your platform as a product you build. Not because you want to, but because it's a necessity, because you must, because your engineers actually deserve it. Your businesses actually depends on it. The future isn't about picking the right cloud. It's about picking the right strategy to, ma- to manage the all. It's about building your own airport. It's about building a platform that doesn't just manage your multi-cloud, but it magnifies your multi-cloud as a superpower. That's all I had to say today. That's my email ID and that's my LinkedIn profile. I would be happy to connect. And thank you all for your time.
All right, I've got plenty of time for questions.
Thank you very much for that. What was the biggest learning that you took from this process that you followed?
Firstly, it was about cost. Deploying it on multiple cloud, we were actually using different tools, we were using on different cloud platforms as well. So what was happening is we were using same thing, using Terraform on GCP, we were using Terraform on AWS. But what happened is few of the team actually wanted to use Pulumi, and it was costing us a lot. So what one of the biggest learning was you had to build a platform because because your team actually needed it. So that's one of the learning I believe it was, and it has actually helped us in reducing the cost as well. It was more efficient because the team, what skill set they had, what tools they wanted to actually use, it was provided to them. So second was actually efficiency.
Has all the APIs for the different services. These days, isn't it, Terraform has APIs for all the different services? Why would there be the requirement for Pulumi?
So it was actually based on the developers what they actually wanted to use. So the idea behind the platform was to giving the access to the developers for whatever tool they actually want to use. So if someone wants to use Tofu, or if someone wanted to use Pulumi, they could actually use that. The team, whatever they wanted to use, they can actually use it. So it depends upon the developers as well. We actually just wanted to provide them the idea, and we wanted to provide them the platform so they can just go ahead and build everything whatever is required.
Thank you for the presentation. Do you have any recommendation on guardrails in terms of security best practices for the different resource types?
So we actually build a policy as a code for the infrastructure. So suppose anyone was launching, for example, if anyone was launching an EC2 instances, we had our own policies which was automatically going to get implemented even if the developer forgets about it, the policy automatically gets attached to it. There isn't any issues, or if there is any problems, so what will happen, the policy will actually help us in making it more secure.
And were you using any open source IAC scanner or any enterprise IAC scanner solution in that? Or was it a custom policy altogether?
We have built it customized, like it was customized by
Okay,
us.
thank you.
Any more? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.